What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. We got some breaking news here for you. Former President Donald Trump has filed a major lawsuit here just a few hours ago to block the Department of Justice from reviewing materials seized at Mar-a-Lago until a watchdog is appointed, which may help his case. Yeah, here's the details on this. Yeah, former President Donald Trump filed a lawsuit asking a federal judge to appoint a special watchdog to review documents seized from his Florida Mar-a-Lago home earlier this month as part of a criminal investigation of records that have been removed from the White House. Trump's new lawsuit, which suggests the FBI raid on August 8th, it's been 2 weeks now already, was politically motivated, also asked the judge to block the Department of Justice from, quote, further review of seized materials from his Mar-a-Lago residence until this so-called special master is appointed to review these documents. Special masters are appointed in criminal cases when there is a concern that some material seized by authorities should not be viewed by investigators because it is protected by attorney-client privilege or other concerns that weigh against it being used in a prosecution. In addition to seeking a special master, Trump's suit asked that the Department of Justice be required to provide him with more detailed inventory of property seized from his own house, and that the federal government return any seized item that was not within the scope of the search warrant. Now, Trump is accusing the federal government and the FBI of violating his Fourth Amendment. He says, quote, law enforcement is a shield that protects Americans. It cannot be used as a weapon for political purposes, says the complaint filed in a U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida. Quote, therefore, we seek judicial assistance in the aftermath of the unprecedented and unnecessary raid on President Trump's home at Mar-a-Lago. That's the quote. The suit also says that that Trump is the clear front runner in both the 2024 Republican presidential primary and the general election. Quote, should he decide to run. Politics cannot be allowed to impact the administration of justice. Quote. It also says the government told Trump's counsel that, quote, privileged and or potentially privileged documents were among the items seized. The government to date has, quote, refused to provide any information regarding the nature of these documents. Wow, let me know your thoughts here on this. One of the other major issues here right now is that Trump is considering releasing the surveillance footage that he currently has control of from his Mar-a-Lago residence, which would potentially or would release the identities of the FBI agents that searched his home. And this presents a huge risk for the actual people that went there, that work for the FBI. You can see here these headlines here. There's a Trump lawyer who says the FBI agents' identities should be made public despite the violent threats that have been made towards the FBI and the FBI in general already, which is just unbelievable that this has come to this already. You could see another headline here, quote, going to get somebody killed. A Trump lawyer threatens to expose FBI agents even if the Department of Justice redacts the names. Attorney Alina Habba calls for release of surveillance footage that could identify the agents facing violent threats. Now, this comes as we've already seen several incidences like this one just about a little bit over a week ago. A man killed trying to break into Ohio FBI office appeared to threaten agents in social media posts. A gunman who died in a shootout after trying to get inside a FBI Cincinnati office appeared to have posted calls on social media for FBI agents to be killed and for people to take up arms and be, quote, ready for combat in the wake of the search of Donald Trump's home, a law enforcement official said. Now, and then we go back to that we have lawyers for Trump saying the FBI and identities should be released despite violent threats already being made to the FBI. In what world is this a good idea for law enforcement, for FBI, for law enforcement? In what world? If you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat, if you're not from either party, in what world is this a good idea for law enforcement officers? Uh, it's just absolutely, I'm just completely flabbergasted here, lost for word how anybody would think that this is a good idea. I mean, remember that former President Bill Clinton's wife, Hillary Clinton, was investigated. She was a presidential nominee. She was the wife of Bill Clinton. She actually won the popular vote in the election. She was investigated also by the FBI, and I'll put it up here on the screen so everybody remembers this. Or I get comments saying that Hillary wasn't investigated for her email situation. She was. And here it is directly from the FBI.gov page, the official website of the FBI. You can just Google this. This is from July 5th, 2016. Statement by the FBI Director James B. Comey. This is before the new FBI director came in, who is now a Republican who was appointed by former President Donald Trump. So the FBI director who's in there now was actually appointed by Donald Trump. Okay. But again, you can see the investigation of Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's use of personal email system. The FBI has investigated Republicans, Democrats, former presidents, Hillary Clinton. They've investigated all sorts of different people, Republicans, Democrats, all sorts of different people. So again, whatever the situation happens to be, they investigate it if it's necessary. But again, the, the Democrats didn't call for releasing the identities of the FBI agents, so then there could potentially be life-threatening threats against them. What is this world coming to? This is scary stuff, guys. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. And really, this right now they're going through, you can see this right here from Fox News. The Judge Reinhardt, formally rejects the Department of Justice argument to keep the affidavit sealed. So it's going to be unsealed and it's going to be released to the public. So we are going to get more information here as former President Donald Trump, let me see here, judge in Trump search case issues written order seeking redactions. So there's going to be some type of redactions, at least in that. But also, you can see here Trump pushes for unredacted affidavit despite the risk. The problem here is that we can't put law enforcement officials' lives at risk. There's also some risks here for Trump as well in this. You can see here, Trump is pushing for the full unredacted release of the affidavit that led to the search warrant, a move that carries risks for both Trump and the Justice Department. If the government and judge decline to release the full unredacted document, which is the most likely case, it's probably almost impossible for it to be unredacted at all. It allows Trump and his allies to claim federal law enforcement is hiding something, which is almost surely what's going to happen, just being a realist here, further fueling distrust among Trump supporters. And the affidavit was used to convince Reinhart that there was enough evidence to support probable cause, which there was because they found all these documents, right? I mean, they were there. The Justice Department has argued that the release of this affidavit could jeopardize an ongoing investigation, as well as the sources of the information in the case, and releasing identification of those sources and could lead to threats. And there's already been threats against the judge as well in this whole case. Beyond the risk for the Justice Department, there could also be risk for Trump should the full affidavit come out. Quote, there is a risk if it seems like he was sharing intel with unauthorized parties while out of office, said one former Trump advisor who noted that such details could ultimately be redacted by the government. Expert also pointed out that the affidavit could reveal exchanges between the Justice Department and Trump's team discussing the need to return sensitive materials, ultimately showing that the government had made multiple good faith efforts to secure the documents in question before resorting to a search warrant. This comes as recent polling shows that threats to our democracy and our country is a major concern here right now, especially among Republicans. Take a look.
With that new NBC News national poll, which shows 57% of Americans believe the investigations into Donald Trump should continue. 40% say they should stop. When it comes to top issues facing the country, threats to democracy have overtaken the cost of living. The poll also shows a very dissatisfied electorate, tracking with other numbers we've seen for several months now. 74% of Americans say the country is headed in the wrong direction. A record 58% believe America's best days are behind it. And 68% believe the United States currently is in a recession. Republicans have a slight 2-point edge when it comes to which party voters want to control Congress, though that's in the margin of error, a tie game there. But Democrats have significantly closed the enthusiasm gap. 68% of Republicans express a high level of interest in the upcoming election versus 66% for Democrats. In May, that gap was 8 points.
Americans are angry, they're disappointed, and they are worried about the future of this country. Just 21% of adults say we are headed in the right direction. And once again, 3 out of 4 Americans say we are on the wrong track. In fact, this number, never before in our poll, has this wrong track number been over 70% for this long. It's been nearly a year now. 58%, by the way, say America's best years are behind us. That's an all-time high in our poll. So what is behind this rise in pessimism about our country's future? Well, it starts with this. Americans don't like either party, and they don't like anyone in power. Take a look at this. Both political parties are very unpopular, one slightly more than the other. It's a similar story with both the current and former presidents, with the former president's negatives actually rising a bit faster than we'd seen since our last poll. The current and former vice presidents, also both deeply unpopular, almost identical. And even the 2 politicians who have most publicly stood up to the leaders of their own parties, Joe Manchin and Liz Cheney, well, no one likes them either. And with their own parties, they are the most unpopular. So add it all up, and this country now has low confidence in a bunch of institutions, Justice Department, the Supreme Court, even our public schools. And for the first time ever, when asked what is the most important issue facing this country, the top answer was not an economic issue. It was threats to the democracy, higher than cost of living, or jobs, or guns, or even abortion. So this is the environment in which voters are going to the polls this November. They're pretty angry. In a normal year, these numbers would forecast electoral doom for the party in power. But boy, these midterms, they're going to be unlike any we've seen in history. And I'll warn you, the old rules of politics probably don't apply.
Yeah, so interesting thought there. Neither party's popular. Neither president's popular. Former President Trump or Biden. Recent polls show that 40%, yeah, really pretty much same there. About 40% of Americans, both Republicans and Democrats, don't want either of them to be president. I see a lot of same comments here. We need a lot of new blood in Congress. You know, we see a lot of that now. And that's an interesting thought that they bring up there, that the people who stood up to the presidents, former president and the current president, Liz Cheney and Joe Manchin, the two, people that stood up to them the most, are super unpopular as well. That was an interesting poll about Joe Manchin. This is the first time I've seen a poll with him being very unpopular. And we know Kirsten Sinema as well, very unpopular in her state. You know, she's the other one who stood up to Joe Biden as President Biden as well. So who's popular? Nobody's popular. Nobody's popular in Congress. President's not popular. The former president, going through the whole January 6th thing and everything here, all unpopular. It's just like, who do you vote for? Who do you vote for? So, yeah. And obviously Liz Cheney, who kind of the Republican, who, the daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney, a long stalwart Republican, been there for many, many years, decades, and just lost her seat. She's not even going to make it as the Republican primary. And yeah, so it's just like, it's a very weird political stage right now. But yet somebody's going to be voted in the midterms. People are going to go to the polls and vote for somebody. There's going to have to be some Democrats or some Republicans. Unfortunately, there's not enough independents to be elected. The third party system is just not big enough to be there. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you'd like to see a lot of new blood get put in Congress right now, but we'll see. We'll see. Will a lot of incumbents, a lot of the people that, I want to say like, a lot of people that have been in Congress. I don't know the right words to say there. I would say old timers, but that's not really like the best word there. But the people that have been in Congress forever, that have been there for 20 years, the guys that have just been there forever maybe have lost touch a little bit with the common everyday people, the common everyday man and woman. Will they get voted out, or will they just win their elections by landslides like they do every year? Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country, but it does seem like Congress doesn't get it. And it's kind of seemed like this for a while. The other problem I see is that Republicans and Democrats just don't seem to come together and vote for the people. I have seen recently how people are kind of backlashing a little bit, particularly when it comes to like that veterans bill that was voted down, and people say we're not going to put up with this. I like to see that. And I feel like we've seen that a couple times here. We've seen the prescription drug thing, we've seen the insulin thing. Hopefully we get that passed for private people as well, where it was short by 3 votes. We need 3 more Republican votes here. And the veteran health care bill passed. We need more people saying, we're not going to put up with this stuff. That's really what we need to see here. Again, call, email, tweet, and reach out to your representatives because they're your elected officials. We need more people saying we're not going to put up with this. If you're not going to put up or shut up for our best interest, the people, we're going to vote you out. We're going to vote you out. We're not going to continue to pay you guys these salaries on our taxpayer dollars. So That's what I think. If you think differently, let me know in the comments. So I'll keep you up to date here on our daily show here. So make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel and click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live. It's completely free to do so. You could show your support for our channel by clicking the thumbs up, which is, again, completely free. It costs absolutely nothing to watch our channel here. You can click this video here to watch our new video here. With 2 new videos here with my wife I just did. One, debate on abortions and things going on here that are putting women's lives and mothers' lives in jeopardy, about how women's mothers are dying. You can click that video here, health risks. And you can see this video here on what Senator Joe Manchin just did. You're not going to believe that video either there. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.